Now, it's quite clear that the central government hasn't announced the formula with which delimitation will be conducted. And the Home Minister is on record in an interview that I did saying that this will be on a pro rata basis and that the numeric strength of the southern states will not be compromised with. Yet, with elections just about a year away in the state of Tamil Nadu, you've got MK Stalin, the Chief Minister, upping the ante constantly, creating a spectre of fear that delimitation will lead to the centre taking seats away from the numerically inferior south to the numerically superior north, because there are fewer people in the south, more people in the north. So the fear that is being created is that Lok Sabha seats will be taken away and that southern states and the people of Tamil Nadu will lose their electoral voice. But there is no evidence. It's all shadow fighting because we don't know who is actually going to do what just at this moment. What's really going on? I'm joined on this broadcast by A. Sarvanan from the DMK. We've got with us Anil Antony from the Bharatiya Janata Party. I've got Brajesh Kalappa from the Congress Party. I have Poonam Mutreja, who is an expert on population, works as Executive Director at the Population Foundation of India. I have Jyotsna Tirunagari from the TDP, and this is important because she's an ally of the BJP, but also an important southern state by itself. And I have R. Rangarajan, who's an author, political analyst, and he's written and researched the actual issue of delimitation. I want to go across to Sarvanan first. Now, this is like, placing the cart before the horse. We don't know what the formula for delimitation is. Tamil Nadu government is convinced that there are 848 seats, that from 39 Tamil Nadu's Lok Sabha tally will come down to 32. So you are now building the spectre of this fear without any basis. Now, I'm not saying this won't happen. It is amongst the things which will be explored. The Home Minister has already said southern states will not be compromised. Why are you doing so much fear mongering?
Yeah, knowing the BJP so well, knowing how they will trample upon the democratic rights, how they have trampled upon the states' rights in the last 10 years, our Chief Minister is batting from the front foot. The only reason the BJP is keeping quiet, is throwing muck around, is that they have been caught. They have been caught unawares. They thought they could sneak in their usual sly, cunning way. They thought they could bring in this delimitation. But due to the alacrity of our Chief Minister, now it has become the debate in the entire country.
No, let's hold this one by one. No, once again, Sarvanan. Delimitation is not something you can sneak in from the back door, right? When delimitation happens, the whole world, the whole country will know about it. Every voter will know about delimitation. Secondly, it's not something happening in the shadows. There will be consultations. A formula will be first suggested, then announced. And the Home Minister is on record saying that the pro rata number of seats with the southern states will not be compromised. That the percentage of seats in the Lok Sabha coming from Tamil Nadu in the new delimited Lok Sabha will again be the same. So this is really, you're creating this bogeyman around delimitation without having any reason at this moment to do so.
Yeah, Rahul, you are contradicting yourself in the sense that you said there is nothing that is going on, and you are quoting Mr. Amit Shah that if at all it happens, it will be on a pro rata basis. There can be only one point or one defense to this. See, leaving aside that, how this is the opportune moment to rake up this issue. 2001, the BJP then government said we are going to freeze it for the next 25 years. So 25 years is almost over. 2026 the day when it gets over. And the 84th constitutional amendment clearly states that after the first census, after 2026, delimitation will bring in. And what has the BJP government done? Why I say that they are sneaking, they are sly, they are cunning, because they have not conducted the census until now. 2021 census, which has to happen, did not happen due to COVID. And they promised, Mr. Amit Shah promised on the floor of the Assembly for Parliament during the tabling of the Women's Reservation Bill that they will conduct the census immediately after the election.
No, but delimitation will happen after the census, Sarvanan. Right now, the census, I'm saying, isn't this a bit premature? At some point in time, there may be this fight. Okay, but that fight, is this the time? All we know is that next April, May, are elections. You'll be judged on your performance. Rather than being judged on your performance, you want that you whip up emotions around the issue of delimitation. First the census will happen, then delimitation will happen. It will not happen likely in time for the next assembly elections in April and May.
No. See, this is not about the assembly elections at all. This is about how the BJP is trying to put a fast one on us. We will not allow that to happen. Why have they not conducted the census until now? Which should have happened in 2021. Let us assume that the 2021 census had happened. Then what would have happened? 2031 would be
no, but this is if and but. This is like debating. No, one second. This is like, sir, with respect. Sir, with respect. No, let me.
BJP spokesperson.
No, hear my question. Sir, he will speak. Here,
no. Allow me to speak. Allow me to complete my argument.
Go on.
See, after. So, only if everything goes in a normal course, after 2031 only will delimitation happen. But the BJP wants to have this delimitation before 2029. Boom up the numbers of the North Indian states and then conduct the 2029 elections. This is their cunning plan. This is their
How do you know it's the plan? Sarvan, now you must listen to me. I've heard you.
Yes.
There's a India versus someone final on Sunday in the Champions Trophy. We don't know who India will play against. You are already saying that India will be up against South Africa and India will lose because Virat Kohli is too fit and Rohit Sharma is too fat and therefore India has lost because Rohit Sharma is... Abhi pata nahi who will India play with, whether Kohli will score runs or Rohit Sharma will score runs, how many runs will they score? None of this is known. No, but Rohit Sharma is to blame because he's now got a paunch and therefore India has lost the final on Sunday. We haven't got there. The census hasn't happened. The delimitation hasn't happened. And yet you're making it seem as if it's the most important issue of the day.
Absolutely. That is the reason why you are debating this. That is the reason why every journalist worth his salt is writing about the delimitation and the injustice that is going to happen to the South India, and you are comparing a cricket match with how the BJP ICC fortunately is not governed by the BJP. Probably it is governed by the son of a BJP minister, but it is not governed by BJP and the RSS. Therefore, they are immune from the machinations the BJP is used to do. And you want us to trust BJP? Really?
No, I'm not. You shouldn't trust the BJP. The BJP are your opponents. Of course, you shouldn't trust them. But
then Rahul, this is what the Chief Minister has done is the right way. The BJP is all out. The Prime Minister will wax eloquence about cooperative federalism. But at every conceivable opportunity, he will do something which will take away the rights.
No, but a lot of this, I'll say, okay, we are hearing the DMK speak and ultimately it's the viewers who will make up their mind. A lot of this is premature because the Sunday final hasn't happened. We don't even know who we are up against. And if we don't know who we are up against, how can we say why did India lose?
We are up against.
You are saying we will lose. At this moment you don't. Okay, Sarvanan, I think you've spoken enough. Let me go across to some of the other guests. Anil Antony, I'll start with you. What is very clear is that in Tamil Nadu in particular, this is a hot button emotive political issue. In other states as well, it has resonance. There is enough traction which is visible on television, on social media, on digital to say people are connecting with this issue. It's becoming a big political storm for you. Are you being unable to handle this?
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul. Thank you for having me in the show. So, one thing is becoming very clear over a period of time, especially the last few months. Our opposition, especially the India Alliance members, they are trying to create false narrations. They are trying to create imaginary divisions, which doesn't exist. During the Lok Sabha elections itself, the India Alliance members, they tried to create hypothetical North versus South divide, etc. But the people of India comprehensively rejected it, gave us a third straight mandate, record mandate, where the Bharatiya Janata Party became the largest party in the North, South, now East, West. Everywhere we are the largest party. Now again, Tamil Nadu elections are coming next year. Once again, some of the issues are only in Tamil Nadu, where there are some narrations that is being created. But right now, I was hearing my esteemed panelists from the DMK speak today also. And there is an attempt to say that these are all done by the BJP. Delimitation is not a Bharatiya Janata Party exercise. This is something that is mandated by the Constitution. The India Alliance members keep on telling that they are the protectors of Constitution, they swear by the Constitution. But everything they are saying is against Constitution, where when the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is having a central government, where we are by oath required to ensure that constitutional provisions are taken care of, we are being opposed. At the same time, people like Mr. Rahul Gandhi, he wants to do a caste census, he wants to redistribute based on, he wants to give reservations based on caste census, religion. This is not allowed in the constitution, yet this is what they stand
No, but you're giving me general rhetoric. I'm asking you a very specific issue. Stalin, in the resolution that has been passed in Tamil Nadu, is asking for 1971 census to be the basis for the next 30 years. He said this at the all-party meeting on delimitation. This is clearly becoming an emotive issue. It doesn't just have consequences for you in Tamil Nadu, where the BJP is a fringe player. It also has larger consequences in all the southern states, where you're hoping to make inroads in Kerala, you're hoping to win back Karnataka, hoping to do better in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. So it has pan-South India ramifications. And at this moment, he's whipping up this hysteria, and the BJP doesn't seem to be able to counter it properly.
No, you look at history. Again, I'll just give a couple of points. The census and delimitation, it's not the first time it has happened in India's history. Census is a practice that happens every 10 years, from 1951 till the last 61, 71, 81, 2001. Every 10 years it's been happening. It is just 2021 where, because of pandemic, there is a delay. At the same time, again, delimitation, it has happened multiple times before also, after 1951 and 1961.
But this is an important point. I want to build on this with Brajesh Kalappa, who's a lawyer also outside of politics. Mr. Kalappa, delimitation is not something that Amit Shah and Modi are doing. There is a constitutional mandate for delimitation. The framework for delimitation is defined, and that is how it is meant to be implemented. To break that framework would be to go away from what is mandated by law. And therefore, what do you make of the kind of opposition we're seeing from the DMK and from other parties? Because the Congress has stakes not just in the south, but across the country.
See, Rahul, I think the issue which the DMK party and the Chief Minister are speaking about is an extremely important issue. Mr. Siddaramaiah from the Congress party has also spoken about the same issue. And I also have some kind of first-hand knowledge regarding how delimitation affects each one of us. In 2008, the delimitation exercise for the state of Karnataka Assembly took place, and Coorg, from where I hail, we lost one assembly constituency, as the result of which Coorg today has only 2 assembly constituencies. Therefore, we were directly hit. So this is the same situation we are now facing as a state. The state of Karnataka is now going to lose 2 members of parliament. Therefore, now what is likely to happen is that those areas which have not been focusing on efficient use of their resources are going to be rewarded, while those who are making efficient use of...
No, but can I pause you to say, in the 543 scenario, which is if the number of Lok Sabha seats stays the same and then seats are reallocated basis population, Karnataka comes down from 28 to 26. If, however, you go to an 848 formula, then Karnataka goes up from 28 plus 13, that's 41. And the fact is, at this moment, we don't know what the formula framework is, and therefore all of this is a castle in the air. That's the problem I had with Saravanan. It's the same issue with you. You're already saying as the gospel that Karnataka will lose 2 seats. I'm saying you don't know, boss.
No. See, we know because of this reason that the South doesn't send as many seats for the BJP as the North does. I think the answer is very simple. I don't think it requires...
No, but the formula for delimitation, Brajesh Kalappa, is not decided by the BJP.
I think the answer is very clear to anybody who knows how the BJP functions, because BJP simply has not enough numbers from the South. So therefore, it would be in the BJP's interest to push the South down and pull the North up. And this is what the BJP is.
No, but the BJP cannot decide. Sir, it's like one-day cricket.
No, Rahul,
the rules are decided by the ICC. The BJP can't decide their own rules. The manner in which delimitation will happen, those rules are already decided, written down and mandated.
You're wrong. You're wrong. See, it is the mandate of the government, and that is the mandate is given to the delimitation exercise as to what rule to follow. Do you follow the proportionality of population, or do you follow the proportionality of what the population was in 1971? If you did follow the proportionality of population to 1971, therefore our population will be protected. Therefore our number of seats will be protected.
No, but there the Home Minister, who's supposed to carry out this exercise, has already publicly stated, I'll show you an excerpt, where he's publicly saying that the interests of the southern states in terms of the numbers as a percentage that they have going into parliament will not be impacted. He said this publicly.
No.
They don't believe it, but
no,
one second, let's listen to the Home Minister. दक्षिण के राज्यों में एक बड़ा सवाल है डीलिमिटेशन को लेके कि 2026 के बाद कभी ना कभी आपको डीलिमिटेशन करना पड़ेगा और उनको चिंता यह है कि जो दक्षिण के राज्यों की सीटें हैं वो कम हो जाएंगी, उत्तर के राज्यों में चूंकि जनसंख्या ज्यादा है वहां की सीटें बढ़ जाएंगी। कुछ आंकड़े मेरे साथ हैं, ये अमेरिका के एक पॉलिटिकल स्कॉलर हैं मिलन वैष्णव, उन्होंने किए। हालांकि
तुम बार बार अमेरिका इंग्लैंड क्यों चले जाते हो? यहाँ कोई स्कॉलर नहीं मिलता है तुझे?
यहाँ किसी ने किया ही नहीं है।
यहाँ का कोई स्कॉलर तो ढूंढो यार, बंगाल का ढूंढो, महाराष्ट्र का ढूंढो, पंजाब का ढूंढो। खैर बताओ,
सवाल यह है कि ये जो बहुत बड़ी चिंता है दक्षिण के राज्यों में कि हमारी सीटें
मैं
कम
आपको बता देता हूं, पहले भी ये मसला आया था। भारतीय जनता पार्टी दक्षिण के राज्यों की चिंता के साथ सहमत है। सबने मिलकर, सभी दलों ने मिलकर इसका समाधान जरूर ढूंढना चाहिए और ये संवेदनशीलता के साथ डिलिमिटेशन करना चाहिए।
या बड़ी बात बोल रहे हैं क्योंकि आपका कहना है कि
ये नई बात नहीं है। हमारे लीडर फ्लोर पर बोल चुके हैं, अरुण जेटली जी और सुषमा स्वराज दोनों बोल चुके हैं।
नहीं, क्योंकि वो लोग जब सुनेंगे तो बड़े राहत महसूस करेंगे क्योंकि अभी
अरे भाई तुम सवाल मत करो, राहत है ही है।
अच्छा,
सवाल खड़े मत करो, ये बोल चुके हैं, हम वहां फ्लोर पर बोल चुके हैं हमारे नेता।
So there you have him, Sarvanand. The Home Minister is publicly saying that as a percentage, the seats will not be tinkered with in proportion. Therefore, if the proportion says the same, if the numerator goes up, your seats will go up as well.
Yeah. See, Rahul, you are asking a very, very pertinent question. On what basis you are making these allegations? We are making these allegations because even as per the Constitution, the delimitation exercise has to follow the census. And definitely, if we follow the census, the population is higher in the northern India and it has come down in South India. Therefore, we will, if you follow population, we will lose seats. We don't want that to happen. And you are saying the Home Minister has given a promise. Where? They had breaching the promises given in the parliament. You want us to believe the promise of Mr. Amit Shah, which was given in a political rally? Tomorrow he will come and say there is an election jumla. Mr. Modi promised 2 crore jobs. Mr. Amit Shah came and said selling pakoda is also a job. And you want us to listen to such people?
Anil Antony, it's a question of credibility and believability. They're saying we don't believe what you say.
Absolutely. That is why the Chief Minister has said...
Sarvanand, you must let others speak as well.
Sarvanand,
let others speak. Let Anil Antony respond.
See, why is there a stress on 1971? It's not any other document. It is the Constitution of India itself that says that there should be a census. And then after the census, there should be a delimitation. Then there had been 2 constitutional amendments, first in 76 and then in 2021, where this exercise was frozen for 25 years. That time period is coming to an end in 26. So this is something which the Bharatiya Janata Party, as a responsible government, we have an obligation to do because we are protecting the Constitution. But I am going to tell something very clearly. The India Alliance members, including the Congress and their allies, they are cherry-picking facts. Delimitation is not something that is happening just in a national level, also it is happening in a state level. Let me just go to my state, Kerala, like where again delimitation exercise is going to happen at some point. And when that is going to happen, there are certain districts in northern Kerala, Malappuram, Kozhikode, etc., which is going to actually have a fairly large increase in seats, almost like 8-9 seats. That area is going to have an increase. And many of the southern districts, including the constituency where I fought from Pathanamthitta, we are all going to lose seats. There, again, the BJP is not saying, they are not making it into a political issue. And there, the Congress party and their alliances partners, including many others who are all India Alliance members, they are all supporting them.
Okay, so let me now go across to Rangarajan, who is an expert on delimitation. Explain to our viewers very briefly what the mandate is, how it's supposed to be, and whether you think the fear of the southern states is valid. Mr. Rangarajan.
Thank you for having me here, Rahul. I think it is not a premature discussion. It is a very important discussion because, as you rightly said, the 2021 census has been delayed and the delimitation has to be done based on the first census after 2026. We are already in 2025. Now, I have written about it in the Hindu. Even today, I have written an article. I feel that there is a strong argument to freeze it forever at this 543. I will tell you 3 reasons why this needs to be done. Number 1, we had frozen it in 1976 and again in 2001. 2 different prime ministers, 2 different parties but they understood the importance of federalism. It's like a conflict between democracy and federalism. One person, one value versus federalism, but these are like two eyes with which you can envision developed India. We have lived with this for the last 50 years. We have functioned with it for the last 50 years. Our population has increased from 55 crores to 145 crores at present, and we have functioned with this 543. There's no fun in tinkering with it when it is going to just go up by 20 more crores in the next 2 decades and then stabilize and decline. So
no, but there is logic, because some of these Lok Sabha constituencies are just too big. There are just too many people in every constituency for one MP to be able to handle.
As it happened in 2001, to redraw the constituencies so that the population is evenly distributed amongst the constituencies, that can always be done. But this 543 can remain as it is, because even see, the Home Minister said pro rata basis it will increase. But whether pro rata is based on population or based on existing percentage of share is not clear.
He's made very clear. I had a personal conversation with him about this. He made very clear that your percentage in Parliament will not change.
So let me just...
As a percentage, you will still send the same number, even if the overall number of seats goes up.
Let me just complete my points. So 543 remaining as just the majority of the union government programs are implemented by the states. So if you have to increase the democratic representation, you can always increase the number of MLAs. And more importantly, the most pertinent point, Finance Commission gives 45% weightage for income gap, which is a function of population. And it gives 15% weightage for the 2011 population. So there is 60% weightage which is given based on income gap and current population. So the southern states which have controlled their population are already sacrificing financially in some ways for the overall welfare of the country. Now, if you are required to sacrifice even politically, then that's like a double whammy. And it is not just about the southern states, the northern states of Punjab, Uttarakhand, Himachal, all the northeastern states will have, a disadvantage because of this exercise. So I would suggest that don't fix...
No, but what is wrong? No, one second, Mr. Rangarajan. What is wrong if, as the Home Minister has said, seats are increased proportionately, which means that in Tamil Nadu, you go up from 39, you go up proportionate to where you stand right now. So in a state, for example, like Uttar Pradesh, the number of seats may go up by much more. But say in an Andhra and Telangana also the seats go up by 12 in total. In Karnataka they go up by 13 in total.
The percentage. No, Rahul, the percentage as per the Carnegie Endowment study, if 848 is the number that we take, the percentage of seats for South, which is at 24% at present, will come down to 19%. Because the proportionate increase will not be the same across all the states.
No, but that Carnegie Endowment research that you're quoting is just one framework done by the experts who did it. It's not the government's framework. So why believe that to be the gospel?
I'm saying having 39 out of 543 is not the same as having even 75 out of 800, because in absolute numbers, but more importantly,
but the problem, Rangarajan, is what you are saying, sir. With respect, the problem with what you are saying is you are suggesting that the research done by an international institution, for whatever research reasons that they have done that research, without even knowing what the formula and the framework is, why are you assuming that is the? Why would you believe Milan Vaishnav and the Carnegie team more than you believe Amit Shah?
That is just to argue on those numbers. My stand is that this need not be touched at all.
No, but the point is you're arguing on those numbers basis the belief that those numbers are correct. I'm saying you don't know whether those numbers are correct, and that's the problem. So therefore, what is the argument based on?
I'm taking a larger stand here. I'm saying there's no need to tinker with this 543. We have worked with this 543 when our population has trebled and we are at the peak of our population. Why do you want to tinker with it now?
That's a different argument. Why do delimitation at all? That's a different argument. The argument here is whether there is reason to create this spectre of fear. I want to go across to Poonam Motreja, because we are now hearing leaders from the south. I don't know whether voters will take them seriously or not, but hopefully they will not. But they're telling their voters, go produce more children. That because the people in the north are producing more children, we are losing out, produce more children.
So, whatever the reason, whether it's driven by a political agenda or demographic agenda or a religious agenda, no politician has any right to suggest what women should do with their bodies. What reproductive choices must remain very personal decisions shaped by individual circumstances. And these circumstances that shape decisions about how many children people have depends on a very complex set of factors: incomes, women's education, women's aspiration, women's jobs. There's so many reasons. And you cannot, as a politician or government, say to women, reduce the number of children you have, which is what we've been saying for the last 50 years to the women. And they're not, their bodies are not switches on and off. And you cannot no woman will choose to have more children simply because a politician says that. So this is, they have to deal with their political issues. They have to deal with the issue of an understanding the methodology and what is going to happen. They have to communicate with their political partners in the case of TDP, but in the case of Mr. Stalin and others, let them not undo the good they've done.
Okay.
Fertility did not decline only because the people were asked to have fewer children.
Sure.
Fertility, Rahul, declined because they invested in women's education, women's empowerment, better governance. South India should be very proud of it, but should not be penalized. No efforts at population stabilization, which come actually from empowering women, should either be penalized or put on the women. Women have very different aspirations, which is what the politicians are not understanding.
Sure, that's a very important point that Poonam Motreja makes, and I want to go with that to Jyotsna Tirunagari from the TDP, because you represent a government in an important southern state, and yet you're part of the NDA, and therefore I wonder what you make of this idea. For example, in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana together, the current seats are 42. It could come down to 34 if the formula as it is originally described is implemented, even though the Home Minister is saying that's not what will happen. And therefore, that is something which has really got Stalin and Saravanan very angry as a southern state and an ally of the NDA. How do you look at this debate?
See, definitely with, as you rightly quoted, definitely with this particular formula, it is not going to work out. We need to rework the formula. As an ally of NDA also, it is one of our concerns, and we have already put it forward to the central government. And whenever the issue comes on, definitely, the other time also, though it's a different kind of a comparison, I would like to bring in, we had the Waqf bill earlier also. There were certain concerns, there were certain, changes and modifications that we wanted, and we, as a part of the JPC, we went for it and we argued for it and we talked to the stakeholders, and we could get those 3 modifications done there. So tomorrow, when this particular situation also comes in for us, definitely...
No, but shouldn't you press the government to give the formula? For example, in Nepal in 2015, when delimitation happened, what happened, I want to tell our viewers this, that the Terai region, which had more than 50% of the population, got fewer seats because seats were allocated basis geography and not population. So Terai had smaller area, more people. They got fewer seats. The hilly areas had more geography, fewer people. But the political elites in Nepal come from the hill states, the hill areas, and therefore it was to the disadvantage of the plains and to the advantage of the hill areas. So things can happen. It happened in Nepal in our neighborhood in 2015. Therefore, it's important for you to press the BJP government to tell us what the formula is.
Yes, that's what we are saying. See, just because Stalin or somebody is Stalinji or somebody is talking about it doesn't mean to, we just have to do that halabu over it and or create that fear factor among people. My point is we have to raise the proper concerns and we have to ask them to rework the formula. That is my concern. And as a very important ally of NDA and also a very strong southern state, we are pitching in to rework the formula. We are against the current delimitation formula. If it is, then we are against it. But if it is, it
No, but has the BJP told you what the formula will be? You are an important ally. Their government...
That is what I'm saying. No, that is what I'm saying. Abhi kuch hua hi nahi hai. Immediately, because there are elections next year or there are elections coming in Tamil Nadu.
I think it comes back to that, Saravanan. I think you have a point.
One second. You have to let me complete my point. Because they want to make an issue out of it.
Correct.
And you asked us to talk on it. I think that's not something we are supposed to talk. If the situation arises that we have to stand for the state, we have always stood for the state. And we are very clear on that.
Now, that's an important point which he makes, that when the time comes, Saravanan, the TDP says we will raise this issue, we will stand firmly with the southern states, and we will not allow for the north to get more seats. But when the time comes, when the formula is announced, it is this ICC Champions Trophy final where you're bemoaning India's loss. Even no, it's not a trivial. That is exactly what is happening. Sir, that is the way everyone understands this. You are talking about why we lost a match which hasn't been played. Where that's the reality. That's the analogy.
Yeah. See, Rahul, maybe you are obsessed with cricket, but you cannot equate that with the future of our country. This pertains to the future of our country, and it's a very, very warming statement coming from TDP that they will not allow BJP to run roughshod, especially when it comes from TDPC. There is a difference between TDP and DMK. TDP, though we have great respect for Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, he always stands for the states' rights. He has said it 3 months back. He said people in Andhra should have more children. He is glued in on this.
We didn't link it to delimitation.
No, you didn't. Madam, allow me to speak. Allow me to speak.
You are actually talking differences. Sir
Allow me to talk.
I'm sorry, sir. You cannot twist the words of my leader.
Me to talk.
You cannot twist the words.
If I'm wrong, you can correct it. If I'm wrong, you can correct it. See, coming.
Okay, I can't have both guests speaking at the same time. That's not how I run debates. Let Saravanan complete. I'll come back to Jyotsna in a moment.
See, this is a huge statement from the TDP. If Mr. Chandrababu Naidu snooks a cook, cooks a snook or whatever it is impossible for the BJP to do what it wants to do. So
no, but you don't know. It brings us back to that argument that you don't know what they want to do. You're just imagining what they want to do.
Yeah, Rahul. No, Rahul. We know what they will do, because delimitation is always based on population. Unless they say so otherwise. That is what we are saying. Give us an assurance.
No, but this is where I want to go to Anil Antony. It requires a more, which is why we had this news track debate. Just 1 second, ma'am. That you must tell Jyotsna and others in the TDP and others who are your allies and those who are your opponents what the formula is. Why can't, if you already got a formula, if he knows what will happen and what will not happen, explain that to the public so that then Saravanan can calm down, Stalin can calm down. Why aren't you doing that, Anil Antony?
Thank you for this question. And again, first of all, I would say that all this hysteria right now, it is just misguiding the public. Let us again just look at how things happened in the last 75 years. 4 times, 1951, 61, 71 and 2001, there had been censuses after which there were exercises created. 51 and 61, after that, there was a delimitation commission that was created, which did the process of delimitation. In the 70s and early 2000s, after the census, there was a delimitation commission, but this process was frozen for 25 years. So there is a process. You can't just take decisions without following constitutional provisions. So right now, first let the census.
No, but why aren't you? It's clearly become a big issue. Why don't you explain to your opponents, call an all-party meeting, explain the formula, ensure that there is consensus on the formula before you actually go out and do this?
Yes. So right now it is becoming a talking point after the elections. And our Honorable Home Minister himself has very clearly, in the most clearest of manner, explained to the whole country that not even one state will be losing states, and we will ensure that there is constitutionally guaranteed justice which will be given to each of the states. So there is no question of anybody losing states. Then let the census be over.
As I said, you've heard different shades of political opinion. I don't want to weigh in one way or the other. It's a very contentious issue. What's required is clarity. What's also required is to say that a lot of this debate is premature because we haven't had the census. The census by itself is at least a year, if not a 2-year exercise. Once the census happens, only then will delimitation start. So we are very far away. And while elections in Tamil Nadu are next April and May, it will not happen in time for the election. But it's a good bogey, it's a good smoke alarm bell to ring, and therefore just have this smoke create that fear. Saravanan denies it, but that's frankly what's at play. And ultimately, it will be a political issue in Tamil Nadu, which the BJP will need to deal with.
Rahul. They want to make it.
No, of course they need, and that's what politics is about. I mean, he's sensed an opportunity, he's trying to whip it up. And now it's for the BJP and the government to counter that. So I want to go.
We are happy. Yeah. We are happy when Mr. Chandrababu Naidu is in our side.
Okay, I want to wrap
you
this
have
up.
to understand Chandrababu Naidu Garu is always by the side of the people. He's
Okay.
not on anyone's side.
Okay.
He's always by the side
I'm out of
the
time
Then
on this
then
debate.
the
You've
BJP
heard
will learn its
different
lessons hard.
shades of opinion. As always, I don't tell you what to think. I draw out different shades of political views, and I leave it to you, our viewers, to decide whether this is premature, whether it's good to raise the bogey at the moment so that you build enough pressure so that the rules are framed in a way that there is some consensus on which.